Richard, let's talk about a specific program that you'd like to highlight. Zero Trust on board. I understand that OMB has put a draft out there now to sort of double tap on some of the definition, et cetera. Give us a specific example or specific a setup that you'd like to discuss in regards to the CDM program.
So a couple things. I want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing and how it's kind of manifested into success stories. So we don't talk a lot about small micro agencies a lot, but we do actually have a pretty robust shared service platform that we operate on behalf of small micro agencies. Someone had mentioned the EO, right? One of the things in the EO is about critical software, I think section 4. The tooling that we provided, some of these small micro agencies were put into play almost immediately to identify and classify software to help them with those kind of policy drivers that are in that section 4 of the EO. That's a clear example of tracing investments and tools for small micro agencies to actually get to some of the mandates and requirements of an EO. So that's a good success story for us in terms of what we've done. In terms of where we're going and what we're focusing on, a lot of it, again, is in the EO. Some of that's also traceable to the American Rescue Plan funding that we got over the past 6 months. So we're heavily focused on things like endpoint detection and response, filling that critical gap and advancing the protective profile on the endpoints. And then we've been actually doing a lot of policy work via the MOAs, right? So the MOAs for the program are actually explicitly mentioned in the EO. And we've been really getting all those signed with the agencies. So those are the major things that we've been at. And actually on the MOA thing, some good news there. We're extremely successful. We were able to get more MOAs signed in 3 months than we had done in the previous 3 years. So it kind of shows you, the power of the EO, of course, but also the trust and the cooperativeness between us and the agencies that we look to leverage going forward as we make additional investments in technologies.
No question. Don't underestimate that 10 years of trust that you all have built up. MOA, just for the audience, explain what that does once that's signed. And also, curious, you said there's a lot of micro agencies out there. Roughly how many?
Depends on the day you ask, right? So,
but is there 10, 100, 1,000?
Yeah. So the MOAs, well, let me give a background there because it's just for the audience. So it's an agreement, a legal agreement that we make with agencies when they come to participate with the program. It kind of defines terms and rules, how the behaviors and responsibilities on each party. The new MOA is important because previously we had some limitations on CISA side on what we could do relative to the program and the data. The new MOA is a little bit more expansive. They give us a little bit more abilities to be more proactive in risk identification. And to the agency's credits, they've been fully cooperative in signing them over, discussing how we're going to work together in this new future that we're in. To answer your question, we generally are talking about 23 CFO Act agencies and more or less about another 89 or so 79 or so non-CFO Act. So those are more small and micro ones.